entire process. Sometimes people struggle with individual things. So, welcome to Nail Tech Ed. I am starting this new series of Nail Tech Ed, and it's just going to be touching on individual steps of the process. You're struggling with application, here's a video for application. You're struggling with shaping and prep, here's this video. You're struggling with files, all of that. So for this episode, it will be the steps of acrylic nails on shape and prep for acrylic nails. Now, here at the headquarters, I do use both acrylic and polygel, but for the first parts of this series, it will be mainly prep, application, filing, all of that stuff on acrylic nails. So, if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, so when I post, you won't miss a thing. Now, checking into the headquarters for this episode, we have my mannequin hand, Sal. If you watched my polygel tutorial, then you know that I introduced Sal a while back. And yes, she's back. Now, we are going to be treating this mannequin hand as if it was a real human client. So when I say the natural nail, don't try to correct me, but like, that's a fake hand. We know that. We're just going to treat this as a real live human. That way you get the point. So because class is in session. Now, before we officially get started, I am going to go in this brown permanent marker, and I'm just going to mark off the danger zones.
From the Cedarwood Mountains to our factory in Cape Town, discover your radiance. Clinically proven to fade dark marks with visible results in 14 days. Start your radiance routine today for under.
We have the dark brown, which is going to act as the natural nail, and then the tan part around the brown, that as live skin, which in other words will be. So I am just going in right here and just marking off all the places that we do not want to go and we don't want to disturb. Now, moving on, I am teaching you techniques that I personally use here at the headquarters. Now, you may get to the end of this video, in the middle of this video, and realize none of these work for you, and that is totally fine. But I just want to put that out there, that these are techniques that I use, and these are the ways that I go about things. So, it may work, it may not. Now, to prep here at the headquarters for me, I do personally go in and use a sanding band of a grit about 120 to about 180. I find that those are the perfect grits for me to help the nails better adhere to the nail plate surface. So yes, again, I go in with a 120 or 180 sanding band to remove the natural nail shine. When we're talking about sanding bands, there are different grits. Not all sanding bands have the same grit, and not all of them are used for the same things. Well, it's not here the headquarters. There's a different level to the coarseness, the textures. In this little case, I have all of these, but please note that they are not of the same. They are not of the same kind. So it is always very important that you understand what you're working with when you're dealing with any nail tool or any product of any kind. Now, I am going in right here with my Airseat e-file, which can be found located on my Amazon storefront. The link is in the description. This e-file does not contain any number system. It just has the reverse or the forward setting and the speed control. But if you're looking for something with numbers, this is not the one for you. If you don't mind or don't care, you can find this exact e-file on my Amazon storefront. Again, the link is in the description. In my own personal opinion, it is very beginner friendly, but again, it may not be the one for you, but I'm just putting it out there. I've been using it since my beginner days, and it has worked wonders. Now, first things first, before prepping, you really want to kind of analyze your client's nail. Not every client will have the same nail bed or the same situation going on. Some people nail beds may be narrow, real skinny on the sidewalls. Some people may have more open nails. It is very important that you do an assessment of what you're working with before you put that e-file to it or you put the cuticles back and all of that. Very important that you go ahead and upfront identify any injuries that you see, anything on the natural nail that may be a problem. So yes, the first main step is observation. Now, I went in and added the first set of danger zone lines, but I also wanted to go in and kind of mark out what the cuticle area is. Now, the cuticle is that dead skin that you kind of push off the nail plate, that overgrowth of just old skin that grows on the nail plate and you just push it off. That's the cuticle. The brown line behind the cuticle area is the epinicium. That is the live skin. So yes, it's very important that you know your terms and know the difference between what is what. You know, everybody in my comments swear I know everything. But yes, the cuticle and the epinicium is two different things. The epinicium is the live skin, and as you can see, that's that second line behind there. And then that cuticle area brown fine line that I marked on the natural nail just to show you the difference between the two. Now, another thing, our nails, if you just happen to look at your nails and glance at your nails, our nails make its own natural oil. So if you haven't had a manicure, you could just kind of look and tell that your nails are probably shining like thousands. Acrylic will not bond to that oily surface, which is why we go in and remove the natural nail shine. Now, I have my eval on the lowest setting there is. Why? Because this is the natural nail. We don't want to create any friction. Sal can feel that. I just want to go in and lightly and safely remove the natural nail shine. So with the eval, you want to move it in a circular kind of motion, and you want to just make it really quick, but also be aware of your danger zones. You don't want to keep it rotating in one place. You want to kind of just move real quick. In a nice little circular motion, couple passes, boom. In about 2 to 3 swipes, I got rid of most of the natural nail shine. You want to keep it moving, and again, make sure you're paying attention to your danger zones. We did go in and push that cuticle back. So now that cuticle is close to that epinicium. We want to be very careful not to disturb that, but we also want to make sure we have a good prep. So it's good to stop and eyeball and see, okay, I need to get in there a little bit more, but don't just keep it moving in one place. You want to kind of just go around real quick, keep it moving. Couple swipes, couple passes, you good. I lift up the eval, off the nail, eyeball it. Okay, I need to get in there a little bit more, keep it moving. As you can see, it's always moving. I'm moving in like this oval circular motion. That way I'm not hurting the client. And again, the eval is on the lowest setting. There is no nail enhancement added on to protect the client. So everything that you're doing with that eval, they can feel. They can feel the burns, the scrapes, the cuts, all of that. Now, a 120 sanding man is not as coarse. It does have a tad bit roughness to it. But if you've ever dealt with the grit of an 80/80 file, then you know it's super rough. 120 is about in the middle. It's tipping the scale a little bit. It's not super fine, but it's not super rough either. But when you're dealing with acrylic nails, you want that chalky surface. And personally, for me, the 120 sanding man gives me exactly that in a safe manner. So again, we're just making a few passes, removing all of that natural nail shine, still being aware of our danger zones, while still getting the job done. This is a good nail prep. An acrylic nail would bond great to this surface. Absolutely perfect. Now that we have went in and removed all the natural nail shine, just want to take a brush or a duster and just kind of dust off all of that accumulated dust off of the nail plate. These look really good. And as you can see, the cuticle area is undisturbed, the epinicium is undisturbed, everything look good. Now, we are working on my practice mannequin hand, and if you know that sometimes the nail glue can give you a run for your money. I do use the tube glue KDS, but when it comes to a mannequin hand, I have noticed that brush-on glue works better. I bought some brush-on glue from Dollar Tree one time, not this one that I'm holding up, and I tried it on a mannequin hand, and it actually worked. So if you're practicing on your mannequin hand and it's giving you a run for your money to make those tips stick, try brush-on glue. The tube glue ain't working, try that brush-on glue. Now, first shape up is duck nails. Duck nails have become a thing, like a major big deal in the nail community. You have a lot of people that love them, you have a lot of people that hate them. Here at the headquarters, we love them. I won't tolerate any duck nail slander. No, I'm just kidding. Feel how you feel, cousins. I know that everything is not for everybody, and that's fine. Now, these particular nail tips that I am holding up came right from my Amazon storefront. You can find the link for that in the description. Now, I will be going back and forth using that tube glue and that brush-on glue just to show you that it works. The brush-on glue came from a nail kit that I purchased from Seville from Amazon, so you won't find that link to my Amazon storefront. Just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Now, of course, we know by now that Sal is not a real live hand, so of course the nails don't have a smile line to see if you can actually sit the tip, but you don't want the tip sitting all the way up there by the cuticle. The tip needs to sit at least 2 inches to an inch up on the nail from the free edge. You don't need the tip all the way in the middle. Again, you don't need the tip up there by the cuticle. You want to sit it kind of like right here. And make sure the nail is sized correctly. Now, why would you want the nail hanging off the nail? Now you have to go in. You're entering the danger zone. You have to file it, make it fit. Make sure it's sized correctly. Sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to sit it all the way up here. You want it kind of right here, about an inch and a half, 2 inches at most on the nail. Now again, everybody nail bands is different. We're just speaking for this case right here. Sal's nails is much longer. So about an inch and a half, 2 inches on the nail. I'm going in right here with this brush on nail glue. And after that, we're just going to apply the duck nail right where that glue is. And then we're just gonna give it a little press. Hold it still for about 5 seconds. And boom, it's on there. So again, if you're struggling with tube glue, try that brush on glue. She's on. Because usually, if it was coming off, it would have been lifted and all of that. Trust me, I know. I've had several practice hands before. So we have the nail on. Now I'm just going to go in and just cut off some leaf. This is a regular tip cutter, not made to cut duck nails, but here's the headquarters. We make it happen. So I'm making it cut duck nails. I just kind of squeeze the sides in a little bit, and as you can tell, I'm holding it with my fingers. That way Sal is not in any discomfort. So I go in, squeeze the sides, just to make it fit. And I'm just going to cut it to about a medium length. Yeah, something like that. Now that we have the tip cut, it is time to prep the tip. Now, we are using the E-file, once again, and when you're applying that tip, you want to make sure that it's laying flat and flush to the nail. You want to make sure it's sized correctly, sidewall to sidewall. That way, when you put that E-file to it, you just brushing over it, really. I'm turning it to the side so you can see it's really laid flat to the nail. It's not gapped in the middle and all of that. All I have to do is lightly, in a circular motion, just go in, make a few passes, and just blend it real lightly. Don't go digging in the nails. I'm still using the lowest setting. Why? Because I'm touching the natural nail. Right where that tip and the natural nail meet, the natural nail is still being touched in my process of blending. So I'm keeping that E-file moving. And you don't have to prep the entire tip. You don't have to make the entire tip chalky. I just do that. That's just something I do here at the headquarters. Going in with the E-file, making a few small passes. Being sure to keep that E-file moving and rotating. I'm just lightly going over it, tickling at it a little bit. We ain't digging in the nail trying to get it seamless. Just lightly. Everything needs to be light when you're in the stage right here. As you can see, blended. Nice. It was already flat to the nail. We just went in and made it even more seamless. So remember, when you're still in this stage, keep it light. Now, when you get all the way down to that edge, you can do as you please. You can cut it up, all of that. But when you're still rotating on that natural nail and where that tip meets, keep it light and keep that E-file moving. Now, you can leave your duck tip like this. A lot of people really like to leave it like this. They say it really gives them more of that duck effect, and that's fine. But here at the headquarters, I love what's called a C-curve. And so at the free edge of the duck, you go in and I just kind of put a curve on it. You just round it, round the opening at the bottom. And to me, this is what gives me more of that duck effect. Now, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this. But again, here at the headquarters, this is just how I choose to rock. And when you're C-curving, it's really simple. As you can see, I'm pausing, I'm looking, I'm eyeballing. Don't show no favoritism. What you do on one side, do to the other. You can always look and tell, like, okay, that side needs a little bit more, that side a little crooked, that side needs a little bit more. You can always tell. Use your eyeballs. God gave you two. Put them to use. C-curving is really easy. I'm still using the lowest setting. I don't want to go too fast and mess it up. So yeah, it's really simple. Moving on to the next shape, which is going to be square. Square is about the easiest shape you can pull off out of all of them, honestly. Like, seriously. We're just going to go in with the tube glue, which is by the brand KDS, once again, and it can be found linked on the Amazon storefront. We're just going to apply a small amount. You don't need to saturate the entire nail with glue. A small amount would do. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I thought it wasn't gonna stick. I'm like, come on now, don't embarrass me. I'm recording. I'm on camera, please. But I gave it a little hold, and she stayed. She stayed in place. Cause I'm like, girl, I'm literally recording right now. Like, you gonna do this? You gonna embarrass me? But no, it stayed. It's stuck. It's on there. Now, the tip is already pre-shaped into the square shape. I'm just gonna go in and cut a little length off of it. Now, this is a regular tip cutter, so of course this square shape will fit directly in there. And I just cut it to about the middle. Now, again, it's already pre-shaped. So really with the square, all you doing is going in, you just blending that natural nail with that artificial tip, and you just cleaning it up. You ain't doing nothing but crisping up the sides, crisping up the free edge. And all you're really looking for with a square tip that's already pre-shaped, you just want the seamless blend, and you just want to clean it up. Still moving in that circular motion. Again, you do not have to prep the entire tip. I just choose to do that. But yeah, this is about one of the easiest shapes you can pull off. Especially when it's already pre-shaped into the square and it's as crisp as this one is. Now, I am going in and hitting the sides a little bit. But again, that's just part of the cleanup. Like, look at how good that looks. I barely did anything, and it just looks good. When you're shaping, be sure to use your E-file on the lowest setting, especially when you're still learning how to use the E-file, because too fast, too quick, too bad. You hit them sides too much, So when you're using your eval, make sure you're using on the lowest setting and you're eyeballing. Moving on. For the next shape, we will be doing stiletto. Now, again, just going in, lightly blending that nail, moving that circular motion, eyeballing it a little bit. And of course, to me, I know I probably keep saying this is a very easy shape to pull off. It is. A lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves, and that's just from society. Like, oh my God, stilettos are so hard to do. Square is so hard to do. Duck nail is so hard to do. It's not. A lot of people just don't try it, and people just base things off of what other people say, and just by looking at something like, oh, it's so hard to do, but you ain't trying it. So before you say something is hard to do or you can't do it, please give it a try. Try multiple times. Try multiple times after that. And if you still can't get it, then it's justifiable. But if you ain't tried it, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, oh my God, a stiletto is so hard to do. It's really not. Duck nails are so hard to do. They're really not. You just gotta keep practicing at it. Keep trying it. In the game of doing nails, you run into a lot of trial and error. Trust me, I know. I know. But one thing I didn't stop doing was keep trying. I kept trying. I got it down. Kept doing it. Learned new techniques. Learned what works for me until I got it right. Now with stiletto, all you're doing is bringing the size in, literally. Now with being sure to keep an eye on the danger zones, I have my fingers in place that way I don't go in and disturb that skin. But all you literally doing, and I'm still using it on the eval, you're just bringing the size in. That's literally a visual representation of what you're doing. You going side to side. What you do to one side, make sure you do to the other. You do not show any favoritism. But seriously, all you're really doing is bringing the sides in. You're just lightly cleaning the nail up, bringing the sides in into this pointed shape. You see how I took a square to a stiletto? It works. It works. Now, there's a lot of ways to a stiletto. You can actually use a stiletto tip that already comes pre-shaped. You can cut a stiletto shape with scissors or your nail clippers. But just in the case if you're not with all of that, it's easy just to turn a square into a stiletto. All you do is just go in from the middle point and just take the sides in. Now, sometimes the e-file might not give you that real crispiness, and that's where the hand file falls in at. I do hand file and e-file, and I'm using the grit of 100 by 180, and I'm just going in lightly cleaning up the sides. Show no favoritism. What you do to one, you must do to the other side. But as you can see, I'm holding it at an angle. I have my finger placed on the other side, and I'm holding it right at an angle, almost like a 90-degree, and I'm just filing down, just bringing it down lightly. Again, make sure you hold your finger in place. That tip is still flimsy. You do not have any product on that tip yet. So as you can see, I'm holding my middle finger on the other side while the file is pushing against the nail. That way, the tip is not causing discomfort to the client. So still just taking my e-file and just bringing it down. I'm holding it at an angle. We want to make sure it's not directly going up in the skin, which is why I have my thumb right there. You just want to kind of hold it at an angle, not directly parallel to the skin and the nail, and you just want to lightly file the sides. Keep your fingers in place. Your fingers are the guards. And that looks good. That looks really good. So with stiletto, just file it as many times as you need to get it crisp. And yeah, moving on. Last and final shape of this episode will be almond. And let me just say before we actually get started on the shaping, I used to not like almond nails. I used to couldn't stand it. It just used to give like to me. Like you couldn't pay me to have an almond nail. You couldn't pay me to do an almond nail. Like I didn't like almonds at all. But all of that has changed now. And to be quite honest, I love almonds now. Like I really do. Now, I don't love almonds more than duck tip nail, but I like an almond. An almond, we okay. We cool. Now, again, they have pre-shaped tips, and I do own them here at the headquarters. But I just want to show you how to actually get that shape just in case you don't own the pre-shapes. So with the square nail, and you're trying to get to an almond, you really want to go like start from the middle of the nail, or the middle of the free edge. You just want to kind of round it up. Like you see how I'm starting at the free edge and then I just kind of move it around and round it upward. That looks good already. Like I've barely done anything and it already looks good. You just want to really round it upward. So I always start from the middle of the free edge and then move it around the corner. Make sure you're cleaning up the bottom, cleaning up the sides. But yes, that looks good already. On the other side, instead of moving upward, I'm actually going to bring it towards me and come down and around it. I'll start from the side of the nail like almost close to that free edge, and then you just go down and you round it off. Now, still using the lowest setting on the E-file, but as you can see, I went up just about an inch, and then I just rounded it off. Went back up an inch, rounded it off to the free edge. Once I made it around to the free edge and it actually gave that rounded effect, I just brought it all in. So now I can go in and just round the entire thing. Now it's all rounded and blended together. I can go in now and round the entire thing. And a lot of people really keep it like this, but me personally, I do go in and bring them sides in just a little bit more. I like almost pointed almond kind of look. And it's completely optional, but again, I go in and I make it real skinny, almost. So as you can see, I'm just lightly bringing them sides in just a little bit more, and I'm just rounding it off. Bringing the sides in a little bit more. Now, again, this is my personal preference, but as you can see at the free edge, it's really starting to give that like skinny, pointed, almond rounded look, and that's what I like. That's the kind of shaping I like. I don't know. I just really like that skinny look. And in order to get it, you really kind of just have to really majorly bring them sides in. But be sure it doesn't turn into a squoval. Be sure you're keeping it rounded at the free edge. Now, you can go in with the hand file and file in the almond shape. But again, just make sure you're keeping it rounded. Going in with my hand file right here, we're just kind of cleaning up the sides. But as you can see, I'm filing the side, bringing it down, and then I'm just rounding it off. So just taking my hand file and I'm just kind of curving and rounding it off at the end, which is going to get me that even more crisp shape. And it looks good. It looks really good. I like it. I really like it. Now, moving on. We have all of our tips shaped. We have all of our tips prepped. The natural good. As far as the tips, everything is prepped and ready. All of the shapes look good. So after all of that filing, we are going to go in right here with this brush. And we're just going to get the nail plate, a nice brush off, free it of any nail dust. And right after that, I'm just going to go in right here with this 70% alcohol, which is going to act as a natural dehydrator to dehydrate the nails. Now, again, that's just what I personally use here at the headquarters. You may find that that may not work for you, and that's fine. I encourage everyone to do what works for them. But I know here at the headquarters, 70% alcohol as a natural dehydrator works wonders. So now the nails are clean, the nail plates are cleansed, and as you can see, they will start to resurface. And by resurface, I mean you will start to see that chalky effect in just a second. And people are like, oh my God, the nails look super dehydrated. That's what you want. You want the nails to look super dehydrated. That is exactly what a layer of acrylic is going to bond to. That real chalky surface, which is why we have to go in and remove the natural nail shine. That is what the product will stick to. That is what the product will bond to. As you can see, the nails are dehydrated. The chalky surface has resurfaced after being wet. And again, it looks good. It looks really good. Now, on to the final step of prepping. After the dehydrator, I'm going to go in right here with this no-lift nail primer. And you don't have to prime the entire nail. You kind of just want to go in where the tip meets, prime that part, and then prime the natural nail. So from the cuticle area all the way down to where the tip meets on the natural nail, that is what you want to prime. So I'm just going in right here and just getting that done. Again, you don't have to prime the entire tip. You really just want to prime that natural nail and right where the tip meets. No Lift Nail Primer can be found linked to my Amazon storefront. Here at the headquarters, this product as a primer works wonders. So if you're interested, you can find it linked to my Amazon storefront. Cousins, this concludes the entire shape and segment of the Nail Tech Ed series. I am so excited to be on here sharing this knowledge and dropping these gems and sharing these tips and tricks with y'all. I know that every place is different, everybody is different, and not everything will work for everybody. But I am hoping somehow, some way, this entire segment has helped somebody somewhere. Feel free to leave any questions that you have in the comment section below, any recommendations, all of that good stuff. Be sure to leave a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe so you get notified when I post. And so I can continue to reach more people and bring them right to the headquarters and continue to build the cousin clan. Again, cousins, I am so thankful and grateful to be on here sharing this with y'all. I hope this has helped. Make sure you follow me on all of the platforms. If you're interested in any of this stuff, make sure you shop my Amazon storefront. The link is in the description. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in. Which one?